everyone, welcome to the channel. I'll be checking out the Tale of Naoya Inoue and Luis Nery. My last video was a fight between those two guys, how Naoya was almost brought down by Neri, but Naoya was able to pull through and knock out Neri eventually. So that was really interesting. And this one, I'm going to be checking out this one. It seems like they've had a rivalry. That fight didn't look close, in my opinion. So I'm actually surprised that they actually have a real rivalry. So this should be interesting. Let's get right into it.
Times I've taken a glance on social media and coverage to the build-up to this fight, there's a lot of missing information when it comes to the build-up, especially of a fighter who was given a lifetime ban fighting in a country just for the ban to be uplifted under very special circumstances. So in this video, I'll quickly explain the back history leading to the revenge plot.
That means this video was before the fight.
6 years in the making. The story takes place in 2017. Long-reigning WBC champion Shinsuke Yamanaka is riding high, coming to this year after unifying the division, beating number 2 ranked and number 1 WBC contender Asmelo Moreno for the vacant Ring Magazine title in the Fight of the Ages. This put Yamanaka at number 9 in the pound for pound rankings coming into 2017.
Wow, these knockouts are crazy.
To start the year off, Yamanaka would make his 12th title defense against Carlos Carlson, dominating him round by round to get the TKO victory in the 7th round. Now let's take a step back. In boxing, when we think of mythical records to beat, the first thing that comes to mind is the likes of Rocky Marciano's 49-0 clean sheet record, or Joe Louis's consecutive 25 title defense record. In Japan, the equivalent to this is Yoko Gushkin's 13 title defenses. Yoko set 2 records. He was the fastest from Japan to become world champion in 9 pro fights that would later get beaten by Joichiro Tatsuyoshi almost 20 years later. The one record Yoko still holds is the title defense record, which is sacred. Yoko made 13 defenses of the title before being dethroned and receiving his first defeat. He would retire from boxing right after the defeat at the young age of 25, where he became a popular and heavily influenced personality in Japanese culture. The fighter that rivaled Yoko's treasured record was 3-time 3-division champion Hozumi Hasegawa. Hasegawa had won the bantamweight title in a massive upset against Thai legend Virapul Sahapram in 2005. He would successfully defend the title 10 times. In 2009, his 11th defense, he would be set to unify against WBO champion Fernando Montiel. This was before Japan recognized the IBF and WBO as belt organizations, so only Montiel was eligible of keeping both belts. After 3 Hasegawa rounds, Montiel will stun Hasegawa, where his arm would get trapped on the ropes, resulting in Montiel to brutally put away Hasegawa just before the bell rung, ending his reign and his hopes to tying Yoko's record. The next 2 fighters came off as the most promising. WBA super featherweight champion Takashi Uchiyama and bantamweight champion Shinsuke Yamanaka both won the title at a similar time, Uchiyama in 2010 and Yamanaka in 2011.
Oh, it's almost dead.
By the end of 2015, both fighters had surpassed 10 title defenses, where Yoko was brought back for his opinions on his record, and if it will be tied. Uchiyama will be the first to go, ending his long reign to the hands of Jezreel Corrales on his 12th title defense. All attention
Don't tell me Inoue came and broke that record. I think that's where this story is going.
Now is on Yamanaka. After Yamanaka's high-stake rivalry coming to an end against Moreno and his domination of Carlson, tying the record was imminent. One more fight for the history books. His opponent, 22-year-old up-and-comer contender Luis Nery. Both known for their hard punches, this was not a fight to miss. As the fight's momentum was more in Neri's favor, to put him away, a desperate Yamanaka going for broke would throw and land some of his biggest shots that have floored opponents before. Neri would not.
Okay, I see where this is going. Inoue did the revenge for Yamanaka. Is that where it's going?
Neri would not budge and fought through Yamanaka's onslaught to where he was able to get him out of there in the 4th round. Neri is now the new WBC and ring champion. But wait. Neri before the fight would test positive for a banned substance called Zapaterol. This substance is used by athletes to cut and make weight. However, in unusual circumstances, this fight goes on. In a situation that occurred in the same year with Tevin Farmer versus Kenichi Ogawa, Ogawa won. He tested positive for a banned substance. The fight was later ruled a no contest. However, that was under the IBF, and this is under the WBC, so I expect something out of the ordinary. Team Neri would claim this came from tainted meat, which it is found in tainted meat in Mexico. However, when the B sample came back, Neri was in fact using this to make weight and other benefits that come from using this substance in its purest form. Ring Magazine stripped Neri of the title and reinstated Yamanaka as the champion. For some reason, the WBC title was not returned to Yamanaka, and this fight was still ruled a loss on Yamanaka's record. Since this looks bad on the WBC's end, as it seemed like there was not going to be a rematch, since Yamanaka's record was tarnished and he threatened to retire from boxing if he didn't get an immediate rematch, the WBC will later order the rematch. The fight is on March 1st of 2018. Neri will come in grossly overweight, 5 pounds above the bantamweight limit. Despite him shedding off a pound or two, Team Yamanaka will allow the fight to continue. It was evidently clear that they should have cancelled the fight, as Yamanaka from the opening bell looked to have zero fight confidence left in him, as Neri, the young, stronger fighter, just bulldozed through him in 2 rounds. Given the context leading up to both fights, Neri would do the unthinkable to excessively celebrate, knowing all the violations he has made leading up to this point. This would not only make him the biggest villain in the country within fans, but also the JBC, as this fighter has made a complete mockery, humiliating them on the highest level. The public outcry and everything that he has done leading up to this moment, the JBC gave Luis Nery a lifetime ban from fighting in Japan. The JBC also wanted other organizations to suspend him, however, Neri received no punishment and fought 7 months later, adding more insult to injury.
体重関係なく、普通に、相手より弱かったっていうだけですけど、今後にもちろんもうこれが最後ですよ。これで終わりです。一生懸命やった。それだけです。
Japan is very strict when it comes to making weight. You miss weight, it's an automatic 1-year suspension and fines, where promotions out west will just shrug it off and move forward. Here, you have long apology statements, like if it was a scandal or something. WBC flyweight champion Daigo Higa missed weight in his fight with Rosales in April 2018. Not only he was suspended, but his license was revoked. By the time his suspension was up, got his license back, proved that he can make weight in his new weight class. It was February 2020. After the ban was made, there was one fighter that was near Neri at weight and was bound to clash with him, and that was super flyweight champion Naoya Inoue. Just 2 months after the humiliating defeat of Yamanaka, Naoya Inoue was making his bantamweight debut against 2-time champion and current WBA champ Jamie McDonnell, who would be making his 7th defense of the title. Inoue would completely demolish McDonnell in the first round to pick up the title. Later that year, Inoue would enter the bantamweight tournament. Since Neri was not in the tournament, he was back on the road to regaining the WBC title. In early November 2019, Inoue would defeat Nonito Donaire in the tournament finals to become the ring and IBF champion. A fight between the two was the main talks, as Neri that same month was going to face Inoue's previous opponent, Emmanuel Nino Rodriguez in a final title elimination fight for the WBC title. Neri would once again miss weight at bantamweight, coming in this time 1 pound over the weight limit. Neri was supposed to make $300,000 for this fight, and Rodriguez a measly $75,000. Rodriguez saw that Neri was too dangerous to fight under these circumstances and refused to take any more money, resulting in this fight to be cancelled, forcing the Inoue fight to not be made. A frustrated Inoue will say to the media that Neri should be banned from boxing, and the exact translated words, exiled from boxing. So fast forward, Inoue becomes the most famous, most influential fighter from Japan to Western audiences, his domestic influence rivaling Tatsuyoshi and the Kameda brothers, becoming the second Japanese fighter to be a 4-division champion and the first Japanese fighter in over 50 years to become undisputed, due to the fact that Japanese fighters were barred from fighting for the IBF and WBO till 2012. Inoue was the second 2-time undisputed champion in the 4-belt era, with Luis Nery the #1 contender under the WBC. After his fight against Tapales, the WBC ordered this fight. From 2017 to 2018, Japan was humiliated, Yamanaka was humiliated and ignored. The JBC was also humiliated and ignored from the
That fight actually, I wish I watched this video before I watched that fight. That fight actually makes it better now. I was knocked out properly. Seriously, this Neri of a guy is some real work. Seriously. Can't even keep weight.
rest of the boxing world. The JBC had a decision, and it was a rather easy decision. Inoue, at this moment, the best popularity-wise and skills to beat Neri. As an ultimate taste of revenge and possible humiliation of the former champ on a massive stage, they circumvented their own verdict and uplifted the ban so this fight can take place on Japanese soil. They want blood. Despite the Japanese countdown show keeping it G-rated, given all the context, this is a sinister plot for revenge.
ネリーとこう近くで会って目を合わせた瞬間にやっぱりあの思い出っていうのはまだ蘇ってきて、ちょっとうまく言えないです。
Former WBC and WBA champion Jiro Watanabe is one of the greatest Asian fighters and fighters from Japan. The JBC banished him in 2007. Despite being of Hall of Fame caliber, honored in Seoul with other greats from the region, he is still banished till this date for incidents unrelated to boxing. So despite all the time that has passed and just letting things cool down, the JBC has not even reconsidered. However, they reconsidered for Neri. So now you know the tale coming into this fight. Who you got in May? Will Inoue win, or will Neri come up victorious and end a commission's revenge plot?
Wow, I wish I watched this video before I watched that fight, but I still feel good about it because watching this video, this Neri guy was just annoying me. Seriously, it was really annoying me because I don't, like, why can't you just make weight? Why can't you just make weight? And the over celebration, you know, the petty celebration and all that. I'm really happy that Inoue knocked the shit out of him. I'm really, really happy about that. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Thank you guys for watching. See you on the next one. Peace.